The radar screen beeped. Again and again. Faster, louder. Alien technician Yura blinked, her blue fingers hovering over the panel. Her large silver eyes narrowed in confusion. The signal was real, not static, not debris, not a trick. A ship was coming, but it didn't belong to any known alliance. No trade signal, no flag. No code. Yira turned to her commander. "Captain, you need to see this." Commander Krall stepped forward, his face tense. The entire bridge of the Valen-class battleship fell silent. A strange shape was on the radar, long, sharp, dark metal. Nothing like the curved designs of their fleet. It moved with strange speed, too smooth, too quiet. "What system is that ship from?" Krall asked. "None," Yira said, her voice trembling. "There is no match in the galactic database." But what?" She swallowed. "The shape. The engine trail. It looks human." Krall's eyes widened. Crew members gasped. A few stepped back. "That's impossible," someone whispered. "Humans are just old stories." Another said, "Ghost stories to scare children." But no one laughed. Yira stared at the screen. "I used to think the same." Outside, the stars glowed bright. The human ship slowed as it reached the edge of the alien system. No message. Number. Warning. Just silence. Inside the alien command room, panic started to grow. "Should we contact it?" One officer asked. "No," Krall said. "We observe." "Do not provoke." Yura zoomed in on the ship. It looked damaged, scars on its hull, burn marks near the engines. But it still moved with purpose. A new alert beeped. The ship had changed course. It was heading directly toward the planet Jurish, home of the alien girl's people. "Why Jurish?" someone asked. "Maybe it's a mistake," said another. "Or maybe," Yura whispered, "they know something we don't." Just then, a signal came through. Not words. Not images. A pulse. Deep, low, like a heartbeat. It echoed through the ship's systems. Every screen flickered. Every speaker buzzed. And then, just for a second, they heard it. A voice. Calm. "Human. You are not alone." Yira's heart stopped. Everyone froze. That phrase, it was from the oldest legend. The human myth passed down by her grandmother. When her kind first left their old planet, they told stories about the humans, beings who vanished. After one great war, who left behind only ruins and warning signs. "This is not a drill," Krall shouted. "Arm the defense grid. Alert the council." But it was too late. 3 more human ships uncloaked from deep space. And this time, they weren't quiet. The war had begun. And Yira, the alien girl who once laughed at bedtime tales of humans, now stood at the edge of a story far more real than she ever imagined. Yura sat alone in the dim lights of her cabin. Her fingers trembled as she replayed the sound again. The human voice. Calm. Strange. Deep. It echoed in her ears like a secret only she was meant to hear. "You are not alone." But why her? Why? Now, outside her window, the stars blinked quietly, peaceful. But the silence was a lie. 3 human ships now floated near the orbit of Jurish, still silent, still unmoving. Like shadows waiting for something. On the command deck, alarms had stopped. The panic hadn't. Leaders argued. Generals shouted, but no one knew what to do. They were trained for pirate attacks, rebellions, meteor storms. Not this. Not for ghosts of an ancient war. Yira wasn't a soldier. Just a radar tech. But something about that signal felt personal, like a memory she had forgotten. Like a voice calling her home. She pulled a box from under her bed. Old things. Broken chips, faded photos. And at the very bottom a device. A translator stone. Her grandmother gave it to her when she was small. For stories, she'd said. Old stories from the first time we saw the stars. It pulsed now. For the first time in years. Yira IRS single quotes, his hands went cold. The stone only responded to one frequency. Human language. She held it close, and again the voice played. But this time, it changed. Not just you are not alone. This time, the message was longer. You were chosen. Your signal reached us. Yura's breath caught in her throat. My signal? Just then, her door hissed open. Yura. It was Captain Krall, his face pale and wet with sweat. Come with me, now. She followed him back to the command deck. Screens blinked red, maps glowed. Enemy ships still floated above Jurish. They haven't fired, said one officer. They're just watching us. No, Krall said. They're waiting. He turned to Yura. Tell me what you know. We traced the translator signal. It came from your cabin. What did you do? Yura held out the stone. I didn't send anything. But I think they heard this. Krall stared at it like it might explode. Yura looked at the screen again. The lead human ship turned slowly. Its front aligned directly with their own battleship. Lights flickered along its edge, small dots like fireflies. Pulsing in rhythm. A new message appeared on their screen. Requesting connection. Everyone stared. Should we accept it? Someone asked. Do it, Krall said. But rooted through the stone, the translator glowed. A hologram appeared, flickering, half broken. A man, not quite old, not quite young. His eyes were dark and human. His uniform was torn. Behind him, strange machines hummed with blue light. His voice was soft. To the one who reached us, we heard your signal. You asked for help. Gasps filled the room. I didn't, Yura began, but the human kept speaking. You spoke in the old tongue. You asked if there was anyone left. We are, and we remember you. The screen glitched again. The hologram faded. But before it vanished, he said one last thing. They lied to you. Yura's knees went weak. Who lied? Why? The lights in the room suddenly turned green. Peaceful. Calm. And then the ships above Jurish moved slow, controlled. They lowered weapons. Engines turned off. They weren't here to fight. At least, not yet. Captain Krall turned to Yura. What did you do? Yura shook her head. I don't know, but I think they're here because of me. Just then, a deep voice echoed across every channel in the system. Prepare the one who sent the signal. We are ready to talk. Only she can open the past. Shock. Confusion. Fear. But more than anything, curiosity. What passed? Why Yura? The ships waited. The stars watched. And deep inside the alien ship, one young girl held a translator stone that glowed brighter than it ever had before. She didn't feel ready, but ready or not, the humans were coming. The door creaked open slowly. Yura stepped into the central archive chamber, a place only the council was allowed to enter. Old lights flickered from the ceiling. The air smelled of dust and secrets. Captain Krall walked beside her, but even he looked nervous. Are you sure this is where the truth is? He asked. Why? Yura nodded. Her hand still held the glowing translator stone. Ever since the message from the human ship, it hadn't stopped pulsing. And the message was clear. They lead to you. But who? And about what? Yura moved to the center console. Her fingers danced over the ancient keys. Screens lit up, showing data files from over 100 star cycles ago. War reports. Fleet records. Lost transmissions. And then one folder blinked. Restricted. Human contact level Omega. Kraal stepped forward. That file is sealed, locked by the elders themselves. Not anymore, Yura said. She placed the translator stone on the console. A loud click. The file opened. Words poured out. Images. Broken recordings. Voices of fear. And one phrase repeated again and again. Humans must be erased from history. Krall's mouth dropped. Opened. The screen showed everything. Humans had been real. They had once helped the alien species during the dark years, the time of plague, collapse, and sunstorms. Humans taught them how to use deep space travel, how to build fusion shields, how to heal faster, how to grow food on dying planets. They were not monsters. They were heroes. But something changed. One day, a group of alien leaders, the First Grand Council, feared that humans were becoming too powerful. They believed humans would soon lead the galaxy. So they made a decision. Betray them. This can't be true, Kral whispered. But the screen showed more. Secret missions, fake reports, fake wars. And finally, the final order. Wipe out the last human base. Say they vanished. Say they never existed. And then silence. Why are a single quotes? Hands shook. My grandmother used to say the humans were kind. She said. One helped her great-grandmother survive a poison moon. But we were told they were myths, Kral muttered. Ghosts, weapons, nothing more. We were lied to, Yura whispered. Our history. It's fake. A new message buzzed through her communicator. From human ship. Do you see it now? Yura looked up. Tears filled her eyes. They were waiting for us to remember. Outside the ship, one of the human vessels sent a beam of light toward the archive tower. Not an attack. Just a signal. Why Ira turned to Kral. We need to talk. To them, officially. The council will never allow it. Then I'll go myself. Kral looked at her like she had lost her mind. You're just a tech officer. But they are listening to me. Not the council, not the generals, just me. The translator stone buzzed again. You remembered. Now it's your choice. Outside, the human ship opened its bay door. Soft. Blue light poured from inside. No weapons, no soldiers. Just one message, come aboard. Captain Kral grabbed her arm. What if it's a trap? Yura's voice was calm now. What if it's not? For the first time in her life, she felt something deep in her heart. Truth. And maybe hope. The war hadn't started yet. And if she was right, maybe she could stop it before it did. She stepped toward the docking bay, translator stone in her hand, history on her shoulders, and the entire galaxy holding its breath. The docking bay hissed open with a low sigh. Cold air rushed past Yura's face as she stepped inside. Her boots echoed on the metal floor. Behind her, the alien ship remained silent. No one followed her. Not even Captain Kral. She was alone. Human ship was dark inside, lights low, walls smooth and black. Not like alien ships, which always glowed with soft blues and greens. This place felt older, stronger, quiet. But alive. Then she saw him. Standing near the far wall. A tall figure stepped into the light. Broad shoulders. Long coat. Dark skin. A metal device wrapped around his wrist. And eyes, deep human eyes looking straight at her. He didn't move. He didn't smile. He simply nodded. You're the one who called, he said. His voice was low, like the wind before a storm. Why I swallowed hard. I didn't mean to. He tilted his head. But you did. Through the stone. Through your memory. Yura slowly stepped closer. Who are you? Lieutenant David Kane, he said. United Earth Forces, or what's left of it. His face was calm, but there was pain in his eyes, old pain. Heavy pain. I thought humans were a myth. She said, so did most of your kind, Kane replied. After your council tried to wipe us out, Yura lowered her eyes. I saw the files. I saw the truth. Then you know why we stayed hidden. She looked up again. You could have attacked. We could have, he said. But we're not here for revenge, Yura blinked. Then why come now? Kane tapped his wrist device. A small projection lit up between them. It showed stars moving fast, systems blinking red, energy readings rising, because something is coming, he said. Something worse than war. Worse than the betrayal. What is it? Kane turned. The map, it zoomed in on a dark corner of the galaxy. A wormhole. Unnatural. It opened near the galactic edge. It's growing. Yira stared at it. How fast? Fast enough that it'll reach Jurish in less than 50 rotations. Her heart raced. What's inside? Kane's eyes darkened. We don't know. We sent drones. None returned. But the energy. It's old. Older than humans. Older. Than you. It doesn't want peace. Yira's hands trembled. Why warn us? Kane looked straight at her. Because you remembered. Because you're the only one who listened. And because we can't stop it alone. He stepped back. A door opened behind him. There's someone you need to meet. Yira followed. The next chamber was warm. Golden lights blinked gently. And then, from the far side, another figure walked forward. A woman human, but her skin shimmered slightly. Her hair glowed faint blue. Yra froze. The woman smiled softly. Hello, Yira. How do you know my name? Because you're not the first to carry that name, the woman said. You're named after your great-grandmother. Yira's heart stopped. She saved me, the woman continued. During the solar collapse of her world. I was just a child then. She gave me food. Shared her oxygen tank. Kept me alive until our ship could return. Kane nodded beside her. She was the reason we never forgot your people. Even when they tried to forget us. Double quotes. Yra felt tears in her eyes. Everything she believed was falling apart, but something inside her was becoming whole. You're not here just for the wormhole, she said. The woman stepped closer. We're here to remember, to rebuild, and maybe to forgive. Yira looked down at the translator stone in her hand. It was glowing bright gold. For the first time in her life, she wasn't afraid of humans. Because the first one she met didn't bring war. He brought truth. And maybe hope. The doors closed behind Yira. She stood still in the human ship's central hall. Around her, soft lights glowed from the walls. Calm voices whispered through the air. Human voices, speaking old languages she didn't understand. But one thing was clear. They were not monsters. They were survivors. Your leaders won't believe us, Lieutenant Kane said. They will fear us again. Then I will speak for you, Yira answered quietly. Kane gave a small, sad smile. You're brave. No, she said. I'm just tired of lies. He turned to a console. We can send a message to your council now. But once they know we're still alive, they'll panic, and panic leads to war. Then let me speak first, Yira said. Not as a soldier, not as a leader. Just as someone who listened. Kane paused, then nodded. We'll let you talk. A few minutes later, a message was sent. A live transmission. Yira stood before the camera. Her translator stone glowed beside her. The moment began. This is Yira of the Valen Fleet, she said. I speak to the High Council of Jurish. I have found humans. They are real. They are not the enemy. Gasps echoed from the council chamber back home. We were taught they were dangerous, she continued. But they were the ones betrayed. I've seen the files. I've seen the truth. That's enough, shouted one council elder. Return immediately. You have been fooled. No, Yira said firmly. You have been fooled. For generations. Another elder's voice came through. This one calm, old. What do they want, Yira? She looked into the lens. Her voice soft but steady. They want peace, but they also bring a warning. Something is coming, a wormhole. A danger beyond us. All. If we don't listen now, we may never get another chance. The message ended. Silence. And then, the council responded, we will vote. Until then, do not speak to the humans further. Your actions are under review. The screen went black. Kane stared at her. They didn't believe you. They don't want to, she said. But some of them heard. I know it. He nodded. We still need more than hope. Just then, a deep alarm echoed through the human ship. Kane turned fast. We're under scan. Outside, alien battleships had arrived, dozens of them. The Valen Defense Fleet, led by Admiral Carrick, the one who built the policy of never speak of humans again, was here. And he was angry. They sent one message: return the alien girl now, or face consequences. Yura stepped forward. No, Kane looked at her. This is your choice now. She stared at the screen. Then tell them this: I'm not a prisoner, I came by choice. And I will stay by choice. If you attack, you are not protecting our people. You are repeating the old lie. The human woman who had spoken earlier stepped beside her. You don't have to do this alone, Yura nodded. I know. But they need to see me standing here, without fear. The alien ships outside locked weapons eyed the human ship. No one moved. One mistake, and the war would begin again. A war built on lies. Yra closed her eyes. Her voice steady. This is your last chance to choose peace. The screen flickered. And then, it happened. A single alien battleship fired. The beam of light flashed through the void. Bright, fast, deadly. Yr single quotes. S heart stopped. The alien battleship had fired. The council had made its decision. They had chosen fear over truth. The human ship's shields raised just in time. The blast struck hard, shaking everything. Walls trembled. Lights flickered. Warning sirens wailed. But the ship held. Barely. Damage to the left wing, shouted a human officer. Engine still stable. Lieutenant Kane stood firm. We're not firing back, but sir, not unless they fire again. Yura gripped the translator stone. Her hands burned. It glowed brighter, now blinding golden light pulsing from within. The ship's power system started reacting to it. Machines flickered. Screens shifted. The stone wasn't just a translator. It was something more. What is that? Kane asked. I don't know, Yura said. The human woman stepped forward. Eyes wide. It's not just a memory stone, it's ancient tech. Older than our records, possibly. Made by the same ones who built the wormhole. Kane looked stunned. You're saying she carries a key? Yes, the woman said. And it just woke up. Yura backed away. The stone was floating, now hovering above her hand. Soft sounds hummed through the air. Not voices, not machines. Something deeper. It was like the galaxy itself was speaking through her. Suddenly, every ship in orbit, human and alien, received a signal. Not from the human ship. Not from Jorsh. But from the stone. Across every screen, a symbol appeared. A circle. Inside a triangle. Light surrounding both. And one word: balance. Admiral Carrick's ship froze. His crew stared in shock. One of his generals whispered, That's the forbidden symbol. What do you mean? Yura asked through the comm. It was erased. From our history, the general said. They told us it was a myth. A mark left behind by the First Alliance. Before even humans. A system where all were equal. Where knowledge was shared freely, and where no one ruled by fear. The human woman nodded. It was real. Your leaders erased it. But that system, that balance, it chose you. Yura looked at the stone again. The signal was never about war. It was a test, and she had passed. New pulse came from the stone. All weapons in orbit shut down. Both sides. Completely. Even Carrick's ship lost control. What is happening? He roared. Kane stared at the lights. The stone has control over every weapon system now. The human systems, the alien ones. All frozen, because they were built using knowledge stolen from the old alliance, the woman said. And the stone was part of that. Yura stepped forward, voice calm but strong. This is your last chance to choose peace, not because I ask, but because the galaxy demands it. On every screen, The symbol stayed blinking, waiting. Then, one by one, the alien ships powered down. First, the smaller ones. Then the carriers. Finally, Admiral Carrick's own ship dimmed its weapons. He stood alone. Angry, but beaten. He looked into the camera. "What are you?" he growled, the first to listen. Yira answered. Behind her, humans stood in silence, not as conquerors, but as allies. And for the first time in generations, the galaxy exhaled. The sky above Jurish glowed with strange light. Alien ships hovered in silence. Human ships floated nearby, but no one fired. No one moved, because deep in the orbit between both worlds, one young girl stood between them, holding something older than war, older than lies. Yira. The alien girl, who had once been a simple radar tech. Now, she was the voice of forgotten truth, and the galaxy was finally listening. The translator stone in her hand had stopped pulsing. It rested quietly now, like a heart that had finished its final beat. But the change it created would never stop. "The Council has sent a message," Lieutenant Kane said gently. Yira nodded. "I know. They want me to come home." He looked at her. "Will you?" She thought for a moment, then said, "Yes. But not to follow their rules." He smiled. "Then why?" "To rewrite them." The human woman beside her stepped forward. "The alliance we lost, maybe we can build it again. With your help." Yira looked up at the stars. They no longer felt cold. They felt full of stories. Some painful. Some beautiful. All true. A small ship carried Yira back to Jurish. No weapons. No guards. Just her. When she landed, the people gathered silently. Some looked afraid, some curious, but many were hopeful, because they had seen the symbol. And their hearts remembered. At the great hall of the council, she walked alone through the tall golden doors. The elder sat high above her. Admiral Carrick stood at the side, silent now. His power was gone, his fear exposed. "You disobeyed direct orders," one elder said. "Yes," Yira replied. "You contacted the humans." "Yes, you brought danger to our skies." "No," she said firmly. "You did that. With fear, with lies." The room went still. Then, one elder slowly stood. She was the oldest among them. Her voice cracked like old trees in wind. "Your grandmother once warned us. She said the humans had saved her life. We called her foolish." She paused. Then bowed. "We were the fools." Gasps filled the hall. One by one, the elders stood. Not all. But enough. And one by one, they removed their war pins. A sign of surrender. But also of peace. Outside the hall, alien children gathered near the screens, watching the moment live. On the other side of the sky, human families watched too. For the first time in generations, the truth had a face, and it was hers. Yira. The girl who listened. Girl who remembered. The girl who didn't run from the myth. But walked into it. And rewrote it. In the days that followed, human ships were invited to land. There were mistakes, nervous meetings, long talks, but no more lies. And one evening, under a sky full of stars, Yira stood beside Kane and the human woman. Together, they planted a small flag in the ground. Of Earth. Not of Jor, show. But of the symbol. Balance. A circle inside a triangle. Lit by stars. "What now?" Kane asked. Yira smiled. "Now we teach the children the truth. And we protect each other from what comes next. Even the wormhole?" The human woman asked. Yira looked at the sky. It still glowed faintly in the far distance. But now, they would face it together, because truth was stronger than fear, and one voice, even a quiet one, could wake the stars.